have a motion meeting with the administration to coming up with 5 feasible proposals to getting the GSEU on board with this, to co-organizing the rally with the GSEU, to organizing the incoming town hall meeting, and to more future rallies and meetings. The GSO has come a long way with this initiative. I think we owe a big thanks to the Employment and Labor Committee and people like John, Kellen, and Katie for volunteering their time for this initiative. I myself worked closely with this group of people every step along the way to fight for the right of equal pay. Also, the GSO has submitted 3 separate roadmap proposals for the year 2017 to 2018, and they are 10 additional TA lines, summer funding, and conference funding. Also, career development is another important issue for the graduate students. We've been working with Freshman Career Center to have more of their programs geared towards the graduate students. I've been working closely with Bill McCarthy from Career Center to offer more internship, hopefully more paid internship opportunities for the graduate students. We have also been working with the Center for Teaching and Learning and Teaching to offer more workshops and individual tutoring programs that cater to the needs of the graduate students. The GSO has also worked towards a healthier, more sustainable campus. I worked with Louis Semenchik, the head of the BU Food Sustainability Group, and also the chief of Environmental and Social Responsibility for the Student Culinary Council, to get more graduate students involved in the implementation of real food challenge on campus. Gender equality is another issue that the GSO has worked on. We worked with Center for Civic Engagement to promote the involvement of graduate students in a 2-part campaign in November on the issue of gender equality. And in the spring, we will continue working on the library space project, student funding issues. We will keep working closely with the CLT and Freshman Career Center. Also, the GSO and SA are planning to have an election across campus at the beginning of the next semester. Last but not least, I would like to say thank you to everyone present here. Thank you for your support and participation. Without you, the GSO could not have done much. That is it. All right.
So I just want to preface this that, we're supposed to report our accomplishments, but none of these, things that I'm going to list are individually made, right? That this has always been a collaboration among the e-board and also among all of you as well, especially with the Employment and Labor Committee. So just know that this is not just an individual accomplishment, it's always a collaborative project. And that's the only way to really make progress on any of the things that we deal with. So as the Vice President of the GSO, I chaired 3 committees, the Elections Committee, the Employment and Labor Committee, and the Constitution, Bylaws, and Charter Committee. As the chair of the Employment and Labor Committee, we met every 2 weeks, sometimes every week, and I think we got a lot accomplished. I, along with others, gained the support among faculty, graduate students, and undergraduate students for the Equal Pay for Equal Work campaign. We also carried out proposals that would improve the standard of living for current graduate students. Again, we're still in the process of that, and we've carried out negotiations with the provost and the president, and we'll talk more about that shortly here. Also served as a member on the Planning, Research, and Elections Committee to carry out the BU Council election, which was a disaster for a long time, but we made it successful in the long run. And then I also served as a member for the Students Affairs Committee. And then lastly, I helped organize and coordinate graduate student events, including the Welcoming Graduate Students event and coffee hours. So some of the projects that I look to do in the spring, for the spring semester, is the Graduate Student Climate Survey, which the Employment and Labor Committee will carry out. It's a survey to see what are some of the challenges, issues, and concerns you have as TAs or research assistants on campus. It's important to get this data. So we'll be sending that out in the spring. As Shen said, we're going to work with the Career Center to increase opportunities for graduate students. That means paid internships. I know a lot of people are hungry for money, right? And there's just not a lot to go around. But we're going to do our best to increase the opportunities for graduate students. And also work on the library renovation project that Shen was telling us about. And also carry out GSO elections in coordination with SA elections. So this means instead of having separate elections, try to do a coordinated university campus-wide one-week elections. And there's a lot of kind of logistics that could throw up some problems for us. But I think that would create better turnout for voting in elections. So I look forward to continuing to be your vice president for the rest of the academic year, and thank you for participating in GSO.
Yeah, but that's
Okay, so I'm the graduate vice president of multicultural relations. My primary job is keeping track of the SCMA group's budgets. So I'm going to run through these real quick, and then I'll talk about other things that I've been doing. So we have the Binghamton University Parents Collective. Their budget for the year is $1,500. They have $1,149 remaining. We have the Chinese Students and Scholars Association. Their budget for the year was $2,257, and they have $1,356 remaining. Evolutionary Studies. So their budget for the year was $1,157, and they have $708 remaining. Graduate African Student Association. Their budget was about $1,500. The amount remaining is $1,110. Harper Pallet, which is a literary journal on campus, we gave them $1,357, and they had $678 remaining. Indian Graduate Student Organization, their budget for the year was $2,357, and they still have $2,357 remaining. But they just did Diwali, so those records should be coming in. International Student Association, they had $1,322, and they have $1,031 remaining. The Iranian Students of Binghamton, $1,337, and the amount remaining is $1,337. Student Labor Alliance, their budget for the year was about $1,002, and the amount that they have remaining is $657. So, in addition to conducting those monthly SCMA meetings and keeping track of their budgets, I've also been working with the Multicultural Resource Center by advertising the SCMA groups at the MRC Fair this September, which was the first time that anyone's done that in quite a while. I also attended their meeting for campus cultural leaders yesterday, and intend to attend future meetings in the spring semester. And so I passed on all the multicultural center's information to the SCMA groups when we had our meeting today. I've also taken an active role in the fight for pay equality, so I became a member of the Employment and Labor Committee, and have taken on various jobs within that committee. So I've helped prepare for rallies, attending rallies, participating in meetings with the administration, and will certainly continue to work with the Employment and Labor Committee and continue to fight for equal pay. Yeah.
All right, so, as you know, I'm the assistant to the president. My job is to plan events. So I chair the party planning committee. I also am chair of the Treasury Oversight Committee. We're planning to meet on Monday at 3 p.m. for the Treasury Oversight Committee's semester review. Also, of course, participating in the Employment and Labor Committee's activities and working on this campaign for equal pay for equal work, which we will continue to discuss today. This semester we've organized a few events, a couple coffee hours. The next coffee hour is December 7th, that's Monday. It's from noon to 1, and here in the GSO Lounge, so come. And I've also organized a couple grad nights out this semester. One was at the shop, another one was at Cyber Cafe. I have also worked with the Employment and Labor Committee to create a grad night out this Friday in conjunction with the rally that's being planned. And so at the rally, you'll be able to receive a little ticket, and you can go to the Colonial and get 50% off any draft beer. And apart from those more Social events, I have been working with the Center for Learning and Teaching and the Center for Civic Engagement in particular to create spring programming in various kinds of things, particularly with the Center for Learning and Teaching. I'm trying to get them to put in their program a event discussing disability services and what your responsibilities are when you are a TA or a professor in the future. So how much responsibility is on you, how much is on the university. And another event called Managing Your Online Presence. That's for, of course, how you are presented to the world as an academic, if that is your field. We're also planning on a thesis and dissertation write-in in the spring semester. And for the spring semester, right, so we had 2 coffee hours this fall. Next semester, we plan to have a coffee hour every Monday of each month from noon to 1 in the GSO lounge here.
First Monday?
First Monday of each month, yes. So they'll start in February, not January, obviously. And that is, what else? Yeah. That's my report.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay, yeah, so, hi, I'm Sana, the treasurer of GSO. So I would talk about 3 main issues. First is the budget. I've talked about this at the beginning of the Senate meeting regarding the auditing report, but just some refreshing info on here. So GSO income for 2015 to 2016 year is rather stable. The budget total income is $331,606. So out of this total, 289,266 comes from the activity fee we collected. 12,090 is from university support income, 30,000 from fund balance from last year, and 250 interest income. Activity fee collection increased by 17,000, and university support increased by about 5,000. There are some significant changes in this academic year if we compare it to last year. The first one is the departmental allocation per capita. This number increased from $18.27 to $19.57. The OCCT allocation last year, this number was 36,000. This year it increased to 57,584. The GSC-TRF, which is the travel grant fund, this fund got cut from 45,000 to 39,000, and I will talk about this a little bit more later. The CAFE fund, which is the fund for the conference, this got cut from 10,000 to 9,000 this year. The GVPMA account, which is for our sociocultural group, this
SCMA account.
Yeah, the
Doesn't
SCMA.
have to do with me
Yeah,
personally.
I sometimes call it GVPMA. This account got increased from 12,000 to 14,000. So with that being said, there some issues arose from that. So first, if we look at the flip side of the spending sheet, GSO party account, even though right now it has a large balance, 8,000 something. That doesn't count in a long due bill from Sodexo. They never sent in the correct bill, which will be about 1,800.
It should be between 16 and 1,700.
Okay, yeah, that would be a big modification. Yes. The second one is the GSC-TRF budget. This number is too small. Down here I will talk about the detailed numbers. And our cafe might run out soon too. Regarding the preschool fund, this fund would likely end up with a balance of about 2,050 to 3,000. So I suggest a cut on this if when we are making budget for next year. The second big issue is the funds. We have 3 major funds. One is the preschool fund. The second one is the GSC-TRF, which is the travel fund. The third one is the cafe fund. So far, 9 applicants for 10 children were processed for fall of 2015. Each applicant got $150 for one eligible child. Currently, the preschool fund, it has a budget of 6,000, but seen from historical data, only about 1,500 is vouched each semester. Yes. Second is the GSCTRF fund. So this fund, compared to last year, has a significant increase in the number of applications. As of today, 115 applications were accepted, 92 were processed, whereas the number for this fund in fall 2014 is that only 35 applications were processed, and the amount used in that semester was only 7% of the total. Right now, already 69% of this fund were used. So I don't know why there has been such a drastic increase, but all the applications we processed, they were eligible. The current balance for this account is 12,016.76. This account might run out before the academic year ends. So if you want to apply for it, put in earlier. And the individual student's lifetime limit is due 2,800, and the annual maximum remains 400. Cafe fund. So far, we've received 9 applications during the fall semester. Of these, 5 requests exceeding 400 each were approved by the GSC Senate. The total amount of cafe funds approved during the fall semester was 6,065. This accounts 67% of the total. 4 of the cafe funded events were completed by the end of the fall semester, and the total disbursed for these 4 was 3,682.64. The third big issue is the committees. Me, myself, I chair the GSO Budget Committee, and I'm very thankful for all the members who work there. I have 8 members who work on this committee, and this committee meets almost weekly throughout the semester to process all the applications, cafes, GSCTRFs, and preschools. Apart from that committee, I also serve on the graduate school travel grants committee. So for this semester, their decision was that they granted 22 ABD students, each with 225, because the total they have is 5,000. That is the best arrangement they can make. I also serve on the BU Council Budget Review Committee. This committee met twice during the fall semester. There will be one more meeting coming up. These meetings were held to examine the expenditures of the university over the previous fiscal year. And there will be more meetings of this committee in the spring semester to review the roadmap proposals. If any of you are interested in joining that committee, definitely contact me. And that's pretty much it.
That's good. Alan, do you have anything to say?
No.
No? Okay. Great. So, do you want me to move on to the equal pay project? Oh, you want to go? Okay. So. Alright, so as you know, last week, 4 of the GSOE board member, including myself and Laura from GSEU, met with President Stenger and Provost Lehman to discuss, let's say, negotiate the equal pay for equal work issue. And as I believe that some of you already got the minutes, we put the minutes of the meeting together after meeting, and I believe GSEU has already sent it out to all the TAs and GAs. So
Did everyone get the minutes? Yes. Okay.
So just to go through it briefly, just kind of summarize it. So basically, the President and the provost was saying that they are willing to work out something with us, such as the summer funding or the conference funding, but the salary is off the table. And also they are as in the academia, and they're saying that that is why they cannot go back and change the decision that has already been made about the increase in stipend for the new students. Also, we asked them if they could add some additional TA lines for the apartments that need them, and they pretty much said there's nothing they can do right now, but we can submit a roadmap proposal for that. And so after that, after meeting, three board members of GSO have submitted a proposal each. So we submitted 3 separate proposals for the roadmap. One is to ask for, to propose for 10 additional TA lines for the departments that need them. And the other one is for, I believe Sarah worked on, I myself worked on the additional lines, and Sarah worked on the conference funding. Simon and Baylor worked on the summer funding. So they all got in. But we do not know. We just, right now we just hope for the best. However, if some of you are like really vocal about you're really good with words, and hopefully, and also maybe have some knowledge of finance, I strongly encourage you to serve on the budget review committee, because that committee reviews all the proposals of the roadmap project, and they give recommendations to the roadmap steering committee.
And sorry to interrupt, and just to be clear, we don't have a graduate student on that committee, right?
Senate has
I'm on there.
Senate has been
If
Was
a
that-
doctoral student can be on there, that'd be great.
That wasn't the one
Yeah,
that
that's
you needed
the one.
someone to fill in?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, but I'm still sitting.
Oh, you're still on it. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
It's a really important committee to serve on. I mean, that's really where we can break down the finance and have a say in this sort of thing. This is how this whole increase in the stipends came through, was through this budget review committee last year.
Although it's only an advisory.
Yeah, it's only,
Right.
they offer their suggestions, opinions, to the decision makers. Yeah.
But at least we would know what is going on. So their argument is that the proposal for the stipend increase for new students has been out there for 6 months. We've been informed, but we did not say anything until the decision has been made. But the truth is, we only had 1 student serving on that committee, and she was under the impression that the increase was for all the graduates, all the TAs and GAs, not just for the incoming students.
Which is what their actual
Recommendation.
advisory recommendation was to the university.
So that's pretty much it. What time is it?
Yeah, questions?
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
questions.
Can you give us details about the proposals? You should be there to know exactly what department are the TA lines going to,
I did not.
sorry, and about the summer funding, what exactly is the detail about that, and talking about the conference
Yeah.
funding. For instance, we have the GSCTFR already. Is that just including that fund, or is it a new set of?
So I did the conference, asking for conference money. I asked for $600 per graduate student, because each graduate student gets $400 from the GSO, potentially. And so I'd like to bring that up to $1,000 total per student for conference money. And that's just, somewhat arbitrarily chosen by me. It's up, I don't get to make that decision. That was what I asked for.
And to be clear, Provost Neiman says anyone can submit proposals to this, to the roadmap. Anyone. It doesn't have to be an E-board member or GSEU, it could be anybody. Of
Yeah,
course,
deadline's
of
passed.
course,
But now the
yeah,
deadline-
the deadline passed and everything, and most people had no idea that anyone could propose anything, but
And
That's
now
what
you
he's
have a
saying.
year to prepare one for next year.
Well, for the 10 additional TA lines that I asked for, I did not say specifically which departments it should go because I don't have the data. But I do know some departments need more TA lines than other departments, especially the arts and humanities. I know that some of the, including some of you here, do not have funding. And I talked to some PhD students and they pretty much said if they don't have funding next year, they will have to go home. So I think that is important to those people who do not have any sort of funding. That's actually a life-changing difference for those people. So,
Summer funding? So the summer funding proposal was for $60,000, which is to support $3,000 of money, just go do research in whatever your field is, and it's targeted towards departments based on need. So a department that's already getting the matched funding for when they win grants, those departments aren't gonna be receiving summer funding ideally, but it's more departments that aren't likely to receive external funding or for projects that aren't likely to be funded by private donors and private enterprise. But it would be for $3,000 for ABD students. Does that answer your question? Yes?
You said you're asking for 10 additional TA lines and summer funding and conference money. Is that what you're asking for instead of equal pay?
No, this
No.
is separate.
Totally separate.
and
Okay.
it won't affect us until the year 2017 to 2018 because this is how it works.
But some of these are more likely to get through the process than others because of the roadmap proposal regarding these pay raises are going into base funding. Any roadmap proposals for the next couple of years are for one-time funding only, which makes this a slightly more complicated issue. But the university, our president and provost assured us that that's not going to factor in when the decisions are made on the roadmap proposal.
So apparently this is going on for 6 months, and had we said something earlier, then they would have changed it? Is that their argument?
That's
Great
the
question to
partner.
ask at today's town hall.
Yeah, please write that down and ask
That's
them
a
about
great
it.
question.
Yeah, we could ask, what if this process is improperly done? Because obviously out of all the graduate students, only one was informed and she was under the impression that it goes to all the graduate students, all the TA and GAs. So we could definitely ask that at tonight's town hall meeting.
7 p.m., Fine Arts 258.
And just to confirm, you said that the Budget and Review Committee recommended that the pay increase should go to all.
Yes.
It said it should go into the base fund.
Okay.
What pay increase was that? What pay increase was that?
The current,
Stipend?
the stipend increase. They had recommended to the university that it should go to all students, not just for the new TAs.
Oh, so the university said no?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Final decision comes from provost.
But they claim it's voted by the
Committee of 35.
roadmap steering committee, 7 people.
And how many of them on that committee was graduate students?
0.
So,
Or administration.
so we just sat on, somebody just sat on there as a GS or just as an advisory member and had no say about it, and they expected that it's our fault that we could not change it.
No, nobody was on that committee. No
Nobody
student.
would,
Exactly.
nobody was on the steering, roadmap steering committee, but we had one graduate student representative on the budget review committee, which was supposed to give recommendations to the administration.
But that person was inefficient and.
Yeah, we could bring that up.
Not just that person, but the entire committee.
Yeah.
I would have laid on just.
Yeah, I don't think we can just blame one individual here. I think think this is a systemic problem.
But I mean, who's on the steering committee and what did they say about this proposal?
We don't know.
Write it down.
Was it, is it like,
Yeah,
is
we
it
can
like a
ask that
secret
tonight.
committee?
Hey,
Is
ask
it
that
like-
Write it down and ask it later.
Yeah, please do.
But I know our provost president, probably Dean Strong, the three of them are on that committee, and the other people I really don't really know. We can ask that tonight.
Question over here?
You said that they were saying that 6 months ago students were asked, right?
We're informed.
Informed. Okay. How about the students that started September that we were not even around and we are going to be affected by that? Unfortunately, I cannot go to the meeting tonight. I have class. But I think then we didn't have a voice then. We didn't have it now. And we are part of that rule.
And you're gonna be the cohort that gets, you know, screwed up the
Yeah,
most.
the
from this.
longest.
Yes.
Well, can somebody ask that question today? Can
Wait,
you
I'm
tell
writing
me?
it down. I'll hand it to somebody.
I know, I was hoping she.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will hold you over there.
Oh, okay.
So this road map committee is 35 members, and we only know 3 of those members.
Yes, I think that's accurate.
Do we even know that?
And these are administration members at the school, or they're politicians, or who are these people?
I think I think Dean Strong mentioned that some of them are like on the board of the trustees. But other people I have no idea.
Okay, so
But definitely ask that today.
I have work after this, otherwise I would be there.
What was your other question that you asked? I said that was great.
So if we were informed of this 6 months ago, you would have changed it had we had some sort of a problem with it, or if we had an
That's what they say.
opposition?
Yeah, that's
Um,
their argument.
That's blaming the victim.
But if we became familiar with these 35 members, we can't hold people accountable if we don't know who they are. And if they know there's no consequences for their actions, they're not going to change what they're doing. I remember in Queens, a few years ago, they weren't cleaning up snow properly. So they took the sanitation workers, the high administration, and put them on the news. Their faces on the news and how much they were getting paid. Snow got cleaned up very well after that.
Excuse me, can you give us your name and department, please?
Joshua Lindenbaum, English.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could ask them to like publicize all these names and information of all these.
That would be so easy.
30 people.
Because I know a few meetings ago we were talking about a budget for media. I remember you talking about the New York Times or something. So let's use the media. If they're not going to do anything, it doesn't sound like they care or they're going to do anything.
They don't care.
So let's make them care.
Yeah,
That's really good.
That's on the plan. Okay.
yes, another question.
You said that salary negotiation is off the table, so would they be willing to negotiate like fees for those of us that are here that don't really post them?
I think that is something we can't negotiate because of the contract.
So that would get negotiated for the upcoming contract that will start happening in the spring. So we can use, if they refuse to give us any kind of stipend increase after all of these negotiations, we can use that as leverage for that contract.
And just to address that question a little further, right now salaries are not on the table. In the meeting with Provost Neiman and President Stanger, they basically told us your reasons for getting a raise along with the new students are not adequate, they're not sufficient, you're not giving us good reasons. So pretty much we have to raise a ruckus until the salaries are on the table. Right. Or at least that they'll admit that they're going to go negotiate with us.
But we should all understand too that I think that some progress has been made since the rally. In the very first meeting that Sheng Sheng and I had with President Stanger, he was not offering anything at all, an increase in the stipends or anything. At least at this meeting, he was asking, what can we do instead? So just the fact that now they feel compelled to offer something means that we're doing a pretty good job at moving forward to what we actually want.
But real quick, that this proposal that we submitted, proposal 1, is not off the table.
No, we're still fighting for that.
We are asking that they give a written response to us. We're meeting with Provost Neiman and President Stanger next week. and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that we're not giving up on proposal 1 yet. Okay, so just to clarify that, and
Yeah.
talk more about that going forward.
But just psychologically, if they're asking or asking us that, or saying that the reason why they're not considering the stipends or the salaries is because we do not have valid reasons, then it's not because they don't have the money. It's not because there's no way to do it. They're just trying to push it off the table.
Yeah. But they did claim that they don't have the money this year. I asked the president, since they plan to raise the stipend for all the students, all the PhD students, all the Ts and Js starting from next year, that will be a lot of money. Why just leave out 3 cohorts of the current students? And he pretty much said this year they don't have the money, and even for the plan of all the stipend increase for all the students, all the incoming students, they don't even know where the money is now.
They don't,
So they just propose something that they don't have the.
yes.
That's what he claims.
Other,
That's what the president said.
other meetings have been different responses to that question.
So, we talked about the fees earlier, so does that mean we shouldn't bring up fees tonight at the meeting?
Of what?
The town hall meeting? Just, I'm just wondering, just kind of like, I guess it's kind of a tactical question, but should we even be addressed?
I don't see any reason why you shouldn't address it at all.
Okay. No, I was just wondering.
Directly impacts our students.
Although we thought we
Yeah.
had 2 hours with the president, or with provost, and now we apparently only have an hour and 15 minutes. But,
So you gotta be late for a soap opera?
There's still
okay.
So in the meeting, I asked President Stanger directly, are we underpaid as PAs? He said yes. And then Provost Neiman quickly said, corrected him and said, no, to be clear, you're not underpaid, we're just trying to attract better students.
Better?
That's what he said. So there's something here that President Stanger, there's a reason he's not invited to sing tonight. Okay?
Can't be trusted.
Neiman, every time Stanger talks, Neiman is trying to correct him and speak over him.
But apparently it's great for us because he says,
Yes.
Right,
That's
so-
why they don't want him there.
So we're gonna record the next meeting that we have with them.
Maybe,
No,
We are.
maybe.
Maybe.
They could have done
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's,
We'll see.
if there was no video in Chicago, that cop would not be indicted.
Yeah.
Legit.
And I also asked President Stanger, is that 75% increase for the national average, is that strict? And he said, no, there's flexibility there, that there is flexibility. But he says, I don't want to go against the process that these committees have gone through.
can I just, should we shut off?
They do offer something. And so we suggested that it would be the team that would already went in there and met with President Stanger and Provost Neiman to create this kind of consistency throughout. So just to clarify, it was Sarah, myself, Sheng, Samantha, and Laura that was at the meeting last week with them. We would also like to add Toivo. Some of you he's in sociology, he's a GSCU rep. What is his official
He's our
title?
lead
Legal.
chief steward.
Chief Stewart. We would also like to add him to the team. And by, if we have, if you guys vote to accept us as this team, then, we have the right, if we have to make a call, we might have to make a call then and there. But it would be most likely in the confines of those proposals that we've laid out. Because, if they offer, say, proposal 3 in that meeting, even though we've been going for 1, we would most likely take it then and there, roll with it. So it's just getting approval from you guys as the senators to have a team to make a call in that situation.
I just want to add that if we can, we would try not to make decisions at the spot. We would try to we would ask them if we can think about it, and we will, bring it back to you guys and ask you guys for your input.
Right. That's important.
So
Discussion?
do we discussions? Want to discuss it?
Guys, I just have one comment, which is, the point of why I mentioned it and thought this was a really good idea is that having like a unified front and having the same individuals kind of gives us influence, gives us power, because they're gonna recognize these people. These guys know what was said very clearly, you've seen, witnessed that, like they remember everything that was in these meetings, which is to our benefit and our value. I guess my only question is, I didn't know, and I don't think we really discussed it in the committee meeting, is adding to a vote. He was very open and very vocal in our committee meeting that he comes with a great deal of baggage with the administration. So I'm actually really not comfortable with his inclusion on the committee, and I will explain to you guys questions why. I'm happy to explain that further.
So you want everyone, but the guy was not here?
Well, he himself actually think he shouldn't be on that.
Yeah, he openly said he
Yeah.
didn't think he should be on the committee.
Because he has bad relationship with the president.
But the alternative view is perhaps that bad relationship could work in our advantage. I don't know.
To be clear, so we'll lay out some more details
Okay.
here.
Wait.
That Toivo does not want to be at the meeting if President Stanger is there. And I think our best asset is to have President Stanger there to screw up, so we can catch him. I mean, that's what we want to do with Neiman tonight, is do that. We want to, ask some really tough questions and put him in a bad position that we can take advantage of. Toivo has a lot of history of activism on this campus. All administrators know him. A lot of you probably do know him as well. So there's a decision that he has to make.
Yeah, well, one of the questions we need to address is like, if Laura can't come to a meeting, we need to have a GSC representative at the meeting. And Toivo is that other representative.
Well, quick question. Are there any other GSU officers available besides Toivo?
Sherry would be the only other individual.
Okay.
Who has an equal issue of Toivo?
So
He sent an email, wasn't he there?
He wasn't.
He
No.
wasn't.
No.
He wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So I would support your motion. I would second the motion. In the sense that comment, but if you're gonna include the motion, I would second it. In the sense that I think that if he initially said he does not want to be there, and personally I need to, it's better we just take out that option. Now, if Laura cannot make it, then we have a lot of people on the team already who are capable of making a decision, and in her absence, relay the information to GSC.
I think we need to have a union rep there.
Never go into a meeting without a meeting.
That's our
So
job.
you
Don't
think,
do
We
it.
have to be the ones saying it.
It's
If Laura
horrible.
can't
Well,
come,
we'll just
we
not-
need to
if
have
she
an
cannot
alternative.
come, then she can delegate aim at that, in that instance, and say,
That might be a good compromise.
yeah, we can delegate
Although they
aim
could
or.
try to screw themselves over without having.
But just make sure you can.
Yeah.
That's on the other part. I think that if we are approving you guys to be virtual, which you guys have done a good job so far already, it would be right for us to have an idea of when the next meeting is, what are the things that are going to be discussed, and you can have a piece of our minds about those topics before you go in. So whenever you present it with just an anonymous or random option, you will be able to reflect on what we said before, to be able to make the right decision that would favor us or speak in our representation.
I don't think we have any more Senate meetings. So the only way that we can communicate with you guys from now on is through an emergency Senate meeting, which nobody likes, but I'm definitely going to do.
I am too.
Or emails.
How
Yeah,
about
I mean,
Google Docs? Because it's interactive, so.
Google Doc might be too out there. It might leak out.
And if you
Anything with your email, with your being,
Yeah.
they can send email addresses,
That's what I'm saying.
they're monitoring all our email
They're
addresses.
monitoring all of
That's
us
what I'm
at the
saying.
moment.
It's-
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, if you wanna be on the Employment and Labor Committee, give me an email address that isn't your Binghamton address, cause that's how we've been communicating.
I would second the same sentiment about Toivo and Chair. They're probably the best assets to have sitting outside the meeting, like literally outside the door, making lots of noise.
Yeah.
With the rest of us there and rallying us behind the negotiators for the reason that they are so adversarial with the school administration.
Yeah.
That way, like, more of us.
I don't have a reputation.
Laura?
Laura,
Not
do
yet.
not, do not,
Not
do
yet.
not become.
She's getting there. So does anyone want to make a motion then?
So if there aren't any other comments, I guess I would move that we approve the selection of 4 of the women identified and 1 GSE rep that was identified as the negotiating committee,
With the preference being Laura first.
with the representative purpose.
Does anybody want to second? Alright, objections? Okay, seeing none, the motion has been approved.
Okay, this should take a minute here. Okay, so, I need to ratify the Constitution, Bylaws, and Chartering Committee. This is the committee that deals with making recommendations on changing, amendments in the Constitution or the bylaws. And I will just give you a rundown of the members, and I just need your approval, from the Senate. So Nadia Schumann from Comp Lit, Daniel, Psychology, Klosh Sakdiva from Computer Science, Patrick from Math, and then Tim from Education, right? Okay, so this just needs to be ratified. I believe that's part of the vote.
You need a motion?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions before we bring it to a vote? Or comments? Okay, does anybody want to motion that it is ratified? We have a motion?
Alright, let's go.
Caroline Colbert.
Yes, I did it.
Steve, second, objections? Seeing none, the committee has been,
Okay.
members have been ratified.
All right, thank you. So then the next thing is the town hall meeting. Again, that starts at 7 o'clock. I hope you can all make it. If you can't, try to encourage your friends to make it. We want to fill the room. It's over there in Fine Arts 258. There's only about an 80-person capacity. We tried to get a larger one, but they kept canceling our reservations for the larger turnouts.
We
These are...
can line the steps. There's space in that room for more than 80 people.
It's better to have a small room and fill it.
Yeah, so let's get over 80 would be, I think, a great goal.
Do we want to go through the questions that we want people to bring to ask at the meeting?
Wait.
What?
Ideas.
Well, we can talk about it now, but maybe we should conclude the meeting and then people that are gonna go to the town hall, we can have a little
Yeah.
powwow, come
Yeah.
up with some questions.
We did- Yeah.
Till 7.
Well, unless someone is here who cannot go, but you have some, pointed questions that you would like others to bring to
Yes,
the meeting?
please bring them to us.
If you want me to, because I'm gonna come, but I need to go home and then come back, whatever is my life. If you want me to ask a question, I kind of need it now, so I write it down and I ask it when I go.
What question do you want to ask?
I don't care, I'll ask whatever you want me to ask. Seriously, just conclude and then.
Okay, I think we should talk about the rally, conclude, and then people who want to stay to talk about specific questions can stay. Because it's 5:45, we want to give ourselves an hour to prepare.
Okay, so that's the town hall event, and then Friday we have a rally. This again is in partnership with the GSCU. It'll be first Friday at downtown at
7 p.m. At the Peacemaker platform that's right next to River Read Books. And I think we're gonna meet up there and then walk down Artist Row and make a bunch of noise and get the community to come out and see us.
Yeah, we'll have the media there as well, and then after the rally there'll be discounts at Colonial.
50% off your first draft at the Colonial. I'll have little tickets. We gotta email them with what they are.
Can you add that to the Facebook event that there will be?
Oh yeah, totally. I was actually in the contact with a couple other bars to see if they would do the same, but I haven't done that yet. So.
Alondra?
Can I say a quick comment about the rally? Throughout this week, I've talked to a couple of undergrads that have just come up to me and asked me if I was part of the rally. And what I gathered from them is that they were very confused about what the rally was about. They thought we were asking for equal pay, like to make the same as professors. So, yeah. So I know that undergrads are not like up to the point on like what the issues are, but maybe we should, I don't know, synthesize the
was a
message
standard
or
email
make it.
There was a standard email that we should have been sending out to our students. So I don't know how that.
It's what I got from a couple of undergrads.
That's good feedback, and I
Yeah,
do
so anyone
think
who is current to
watching
email
the
your
media,
classes.
I do think that it was confusing. So that's one thing that we do.
And
need
this
to work
were
on.
just people who were like happened to be in the quad and saw the rally.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think the media did a good job reporting that rally.
We also need to do a better job of giving interviews, though, to be fair. We need to give the best interviews.
Okay, any further comments?
Any more questions?
Who's coffee hour Monday?
Anybody who wants to be joined Employment and Labor Committee, give me your email now. After we adjourn.
After meeting. All right.
Personal email.
So seeing no more questions, does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting? Your name? All right. We have a second. All right. No objection. Great. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Stick around to formulate questions as we're, you're down.
There's a question you want me to ask,
Is there gonna be someone?
Shink, do you have that list of questions that we came up with?
Yeah, I already did that.
So yeah, take a look at what they are. Whatever you want to ask. I have to run the lab.
I got busy, but
That's not gonna take me long.
maybe the company
Alright.
might not be able